This module explored Arizona's detailed regulatory framework for timeshare developments, emphasizing how transparency, disclosure, and accountability protect consumers and ensure ethical industry practices. It built upon the foundational concepts of ownership, disclosure, and fiduciary responsibility established in prior sections of property law and real estate licensing. At the core of this module were the key terms and foundational concepts that define how timeshare ownership operates under Arizona law. Terms such as accommodation, developer, timeshare plan, and purchaser form the legal vocabulary of this industry. An accommodation refers to the real property or unit offered for timeshare use. The developer is the person or entity responsible for creating, marketing, and selling the plan. The timeshare plan encompasses the system of ownership, management, and operation that allows multiple purchasers to share occupancy rights. Finally, the purchaser is the individual acquiring those rights, whether deeded or contractual. Understanding these definitions is essential because they determine who bears legal responsibility and who enjoys enforceable rights within a timeshare project. The module also examined the one-to-one purchaser-to-accommodation ratio requirement, a cornerstone of Arizona's Timeshare Act. This ratio ensures that for every timeshare interest sold, a corresponding accommodation exists and is available for use. This prevents overselling, a practice that once plagued the industry nationwide, and guarantees that every purchaser receives fair and equitable access to the property they have paid for. Before a timeshare developer can legally sell interest to the public, they must register a notice of intent to sell and apply for a public report with the Arizona Department of Real Estate, ADRE. The public report is the official disclosure document that describes the property, developer qualifications, ownership rights, and any encumbrances or risks associated with the project. No binding contracts may be signed, nor funds accepted, until the report is approved. This process safeguards buyers by ensuring that all material information is vetted by ADRE before sales begin. Buyers also enjoy significant rescission rights, which protect them from high-pressure sales tactics or impulsive decisions. Under ARS, Section 32-2197.03, purchasers may cancel a timeshare contract within 10 calendar days of signing, for any reason, and receive a full refund. This right is unconditional and must be clearly disclosed in all sales documents. Developers and their agents must promptly honor rescission notices, and any funds paid during this period must be held in escrow or trust accounts until the rescission period expires. These accounts, established under ARS Section 32-2197.05, ensure that buyer funds are protected from misuse during the vulnerable pre-closing phase. Developers are also bound by ongoing disclosure and reporting obligations. If any material change occurs after the public report is issued, such as alterations to ownership structure, amenities, management, or marketing programs, the developer must promptly file an amended report with ADRA under ARS Section 322197.04. This requirement ensures that all current and prospective buyers have access to accurate, up-to-date information about the project. TA key administrative safeguard discussed in this module was the requirement for escrow or trust accounts. These accounts must hold all monies received during the rescission period or for any uncompleted construction until the conditions of sale are fulfilled. This ensures that funds are used only for their intended purpose and protects purchasers if a project is delayed, canceled, or fails to meet its contractual obligations. The module also outlined the general provisions that must be included in the declaration or other timeshare instruments under Arizona revised statutes, Section 322197.06. These provisions serve as the legal foundation for ownership and operation, covering details such as property description, ownership type, deeded or right to use, voting rights, management structures, financial obligations, insurance requirements, and procedures for amending or terminating the plan. Without these provisions, the project cannot operate legally, and the public report will not be approved. Finally, the module addressed the conditions for accepting deposits before the approval of a public report. Developers may accept reservation deposits only if the funds are held in an independent escrow account, accompanied by a written reservation agreement that clearly states no sale has occurred. Purchasers retain the unconditional right to cancel at any time and receive a full refund. If ADRI has not issued the public report, the deposit must be automatically refunded. This module emphasized that Arizona's regulatory framework for timeshares is among the most consumer protective in the nation. Each statute and procedural safeguard, from escrow requirements to public report approvals, exists to ensure transparency, prevent fraud, and preserve confidence in shared ownership real estate. Review summary. In summary, the timeshare module demonstrated that Arizona law requires strict compliance at every stage of a timeshare's development and sale. Developers must define key terms precisely, ensure equitable access through the 1-to-1 ratio rule, and obtain ADRI's approval via the public report before marketing or collecting funds. Purchasers are protected by statutory rescission rights and by escrow safeguards that ensure their money is never at risk before a sale is finalized. Developers have an ongoing duty to disclose material changes and include detailed provisions in their recorded declarations, ensuring that each timeshare operates transparently and fairly. The law even governs pre-sale deposits, limiting what can be collected and how it must be handled. Collectively, these rules uphold Arizona's broader public policy objective to protect consumers while maintaining a fair and trustworthy real estate market. Discussion prompts. Why does Arizona require developers to use escrow accounts for reservation deposits and rescission funds? Answer. To protect consumers from financial loss and prevent developers from accessing funds before ADRE has approved the project. How does the public report enhance consumer protection in timeshare transactions? Answer. It ensures that all material facts about the project have been reviewed and disclosed, enabling informed decision-making. What is the purpose of the 1-to-1 purchaser to accommodation ratio requirement? Answer. To prevent overselling and guarantee that every purchaser has equitable access to the accommodations promised in the plan. Closing remarks. The timeshare module highlights the intersection of property law, consumer protection, and professional ethics. It reinforces that timeshare sales are not simple real estate transactions, but complex regulated offerings requiring honesty, disclosure, and precision. For licensees, understanding these requirements is not only a matter of compliance, but a reflection of professionalism and public trust. Arizona's statutes serve as a model for balancing the entrepreneurial interests of developers with the consumer rights of purchasers, ensuring fairness, transparency, and integrity in every transaction. Supporting sources and key case law ARS, Section 32-2-197.02. Notice of intent to sell and public report requirement. ARS Section 32-2-197.03. Purchaser rescission rights. ARS Section 32-2-197.05. Escrow requirements for funds during rescission period and uncompleted construction. ARS Section 32-2-197.10. Deposit handling before public report approval. ARS Section 32. 2197.04. Developer's duty to report material changes. ARS Section 32. 2197.06. Required provisions in timeshare declarations. Arizona Department of Real Estate Timeshare Compliance Guide, 2023 edition.